Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and I am autistic. Please excuse my voice throughout this video. I have a sinus infection right now, but I wanted to make this video and talk about how I found out that I'm autistic. Sorry if the lighting's off, I had to restart. So it all started when I was 25 years old. I had a guy friend that knew me for probably about a good 8 months. And he came up to me one day after I had a shutdown and he asked me, "Have you ever been tested for autism?" And I looked at him and I said, "No." Like I had no idea what he was talking about or why he would even mention that. And then shortly after that question, I did just a quick Google search for signs of autism. And what came up was like top 10 signs that are the most common or most noticeable. And I had a relation to a lot of those signs. And it brought this whole, thing of throughout my whole childhood all the way up. And my brain just started thinking of all the moments of when I was a kid and everything just started clicking. And I was just in awe of this whole revelation. Now, I did, within a week or two, I think after that conversation, I went to see a psychologist. I went to get evaluated. He said, "I don't think you have it, but if it makes you feel better, I'll send you to an autism specialist." So I went to the autism specialist, and mind you, she specialized in pediatric autism. So I was the only adult in the waiting room that didn't have a kid. That was awkward. So I saw her. At the end of our conversation, she said I could not be autistic because she felt that I was too pleasant. She told me that she enjoyed the conversation that she had with me, and so therefore I can't be on the spectrum. And also, I was imitating her. When she smiled, I smiled. So she felt that that was something that you have to not be good at in order to be on the spectrum. And she also told me that she felt maybe I just didn't learn how to socialize as a teenager. Okay, so that was 2 pretty much back-to-back appointments within about a month of each other. And I kind of stopped looking after that because it just made me feel down. I don't know how to explain what I was feeling, but it was definitely not good. I did not like the way that I felt in that moment. But I went ahead and got another evaluation last year. So it was like 4 years after my 2 evaluations, I got a third evaluation because I felt like I am autistic. Like I know they said no, but I feel it. Like I everything I'm doing, every test I've taken, all the research that I put everything into. I mean, I did 4.5 years of research, deep research beyond Google. I was in school at the time, so I did, research papers and academic research on this, and everything I was finding, I was relating to so much, and I just felt like they're just dismissing me. They're just looking at me and saying, "Nope, can't be it. You look fine." So the third evaluation I went ahead and did, and again, similar reasoning as to why I couldn't be on the spectrum. One of them being that I don't have a robotic tone. And then the other reason from that same evaluator was I am very good at mimicking. So that was it. After that one, I decided to give up. And I went ahead and looked for my ADHD help because in 2020 I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I went ahead and just gave up on the autism thing, and I went to get help for my ADHD medication, whatever I needed to do. And so I went online, found a psychologist to work through getting, ADHD help. And as soon as I started trying to get ADHD help, the first thing that came to mind for two different health care specialists, or not specialists, but professionals, the first two things that came to mind was, yeah, you have ADHD, but some of the signs that you're talking about are more ASD. Yeah, so I told them, I have had 3 evaluations. I have been told I cannot be autistic, okay? So I don't know what to do at this point. I am just, I feel crazy. It made me feel absolutely crazy, and like I just didn't know myself. So fast forward, I got my ADHD medication. I also ended up being diagnosed with mild depression, so I've been on antidepressants as well. And this whole thing has just been a big struggle. I finally decided to say that I want the assessments. Now, when I first got evaluated, I didn't have the knowledge that I need to bring stuff with me or that I need to show them somehow the tests that I had took online that said highly likely to be autistic. I didn't know any of that. I had no knowledge of it. I just went to get evaluated. That's what it was. So now I've had all this, research of like 5 years of research at this point, and I just felt like I need to do the assessments, not the evaluations. I'm not doing another evaluation. I want to do the assessments. And what I finally found on TikTok was something called Embrace Autism, which I have another video on that I will be posting at a later time about the whole entire process that I went through. But 5 years. It took 5 years for me to be heard, to be validated, that I'm not crazy, that I'm not just thinking up stuff, and that it's not just in my head, and that I'm not just, doing things because I want to or whatever the reason may be. And Embrace Autism is probably the best place to get a diagnosis because it is so thorough. The psychologist is autistic herself, so that made a huge difference. Within 15 minutes of talking to me, that psychologist said, "You are so autistic that you don't even know how autistic you are." 15 minutes. It was an hour-long talk for the diagnosis. And she saw me for the first 15 minutes and just said, "Yep, you're definitely, most definitely," I think she asked me one question in that 15 minutes. And it's just incredible to me to know that there's other professionals out there, psychologists that are supposed to be specialists in this field. And just, they don't have that knowledge, especially for adults. We need more, knowledge for adults, especially. I mean, young kids, sure, there's still teaching that can be done there, but it's crazy. It was just a big roller coaster. But the entire process itself, once I started the screening process of getting the diagnosis, it was about eight or 9 months, I think, in total. But yeah, this whole process took a total of 5 years for me to finally get told, yes, you are autistic, you have these struggles, and they are valid, and you are definitely dealing with this, not dealing with this, how do I put this? You are definitely dealing with these things, and these struggles that you're having are not made up. They're genuine. And this is why. So that is basically the whole story of how I found out I was autistic, and I just kept going and fighting for the answers that I was looking for. And I kept trying to get this diagnosis because I knew for a fact that it was genuine, that I really am, and that I know I am. You know yourself best. Don't let doctors tell you you're not that or you don't have that, because you pretty much, like, if you've done that type of research where you're extensive research and not just a Google search, you've probably gone through all of this stuff of looking up other things and making sure that you fit under this one label. That's what I did. I actually looked up, maybe, is it OCD? No, it doesn't fit under OCD. Is it BPD? No, it doesn't fit under that. So I did that before I ever got my assessments, just to make sure that I was not going to be misdiagnosed like a lot of women are. So that was my whole journey, my whole figuring things out. And yeah, it's been a long road, but I'm grateful to finally be here. And I'm happy that I can finally share my story. And hopefully this story helps anyone else out there that is either looking for a diagnosis, or maybe you saw a video of someone else talking about their traits and you decided, oh my gosh, some of those traits fit me, and you're starting that process of researching and understanding yourself. Don't give up. Don't let psychologists tell you that, well, I don't think that's what it is, because they looked at you and said, oh, you're good. You don't have any of those issues. So that's my story. And this is kind of a short video just because I rambled all the way through. But if you enjoyed my first video on my channel, please subscribe. I have many more video ideas coming. If you relate to my story, or if you just want to learn more, I hope you guys have a good day or night or evening, whatever time you're watching. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.